My story is one that continues to change each year. It always adapts. As I grow older, something new happens, right? I was born and raised here in DuQuoin, Illinois, obviously born without my left hand, and sports was everything to me. I mean, from the time I came out that womb, it was said that I was born with a ball in my hand. I didn't want to play with toys. I just wanted to go out and play ball. Every year, as I got older and older, you'd hear the same thing every year. You're not good enough to play at the next level. You can play t-ball, but there's no way you're going to be good enough to play coach pitch. It's not safe for you to play. When someone tells you that you can't do something, you can do two things, okay? There's two options, only two. You can quit, you can walk away, you can forget about it, you can let them win. Or you can take all that doubt, all that disbelief that they have in you, and you turn that into fuel. You turn that into fuel to fuel a fire to prove everyone who ever doubts you, everyone who ever does not believe in you, wrong. And let me tell you, and I'm sure all my coaches will attest to this, there is no greater feeling than when a disbeliever tries to join your bandwagon. Because you're like, all right, you didn't believe in me, and now you're wanting to hop on? I see how it is, bro. Every year was the same thing, you know? You're not good enough to play at the same level. And now, when I say you got to prove your doubters wrong, I'm not saying you just sit there and you're like, I'm going to be a major leaguer, you know, I'm going to prove them wrong, but I don't have to work. It's not true. I had to work twice as hard as any of my teammates, as any of my competitors, because it took twice as much effort for me to be on the same playing level. And it took 3 times as much effort for me to excel. You're gonna have people who try to put limitations on you throughout your life. You're gonna have so many people tell you what you are and are not capable of. But let me tell you this, the only person who can determine what you're capable of is the man upstairs and you. And it starts with you. When you wake up in the morning and you look into that mirror, you need to say, hey, this is me. This is who I am. I'm created perfectly. God says it in the Bible. I made you in my image. Okay, so if God made the world, God made everything that is beauty. God made you. God made the models we see on TV. God made the athletes we see playing in the games. God made everything. So if He made everything and He's making everything in His image, how is it not beautiful? How is it not perfect? You know, I've heard so many people say, there's no such thing as perfect. Everyone is perfect. Perfection is seen in the dictionary as absolutely no mistakes. I don't agree with Webster. Perfection is seen as accepting who you are, knowing that you need to get better and better in life, and you can always be better, and knowing that you do not need to change to satisfy the world. The world needs to change to accommodate you, because you are God's creation. They are God's creation. If we're all God's creation, we're all God's beauty, then what is perfect? What is imperfect? What is a disability? I do not believe in the term disability. Disability, when people said, I have a disability, and I'm sure all these other athletes will agree, whenever they say, you have a disability, it's like, no, I don't. I can play. I can beat you. You want to go to the gym, bro? Yeah, let's go. You want to go out on the mound? Let's go. Let's go play. You know, and all these coaches will say the same thing. When someone challenges you, you stand up. Camp theme this year is rise up. We're going to go into a little bit of Bible verse. So let's talk about the story of David and Goliath for a second, okay? 2 armies facing off, right? Then you have this big dude, Goliath. He's like the Hulk, pretty much, or Brock Lesnar, which Coach Eric Pavey's mini Brock Lesnar. Anyway, so it's like Brock Lesnar facing off against a bunch of lightweights in the UFC. Everyone is scared. Everyone is fearful. No one wants to go against this guy. They're ready to throw in the towel. Then who rises up? David. How old is David? David's a young boy. How old is Goliath? Goliath is an accomplished warrior who has never been beaten. Never. So he's undefeated in all of his battles. And here's David. He steps up. He steps up to the plate. He's ready to go. You know, they try to hand him a sword. The sword's too heavy. David can't lift the sword. Oh no. How is David going to beat Goliath? Maybe they'll tire him out, so they try to give David the shield. The shield is too heavy. David can't hold the shield. They try to give David armor. It's too heavy. David can't move. How is he going to fight Goliath if he can't move? What do they hand David? a slingshot, and some pebbles. Instantly you're thinking, this guy's dead. No way he's living. Nah. He's going to shoot this guy, make him even madder, and he's going to come and just chop David's head off, right? That's what's about to happen. But there's one strength that everyone can have that is the most conquerable strength. It is a strength that is unmatched. It is a strength that no one can be stronger than. You guys want to know what that is? Faith. Faith in the man above, that he's got you no matter what. That no matter where you're going in life, no matter what you're doing in life, he's got you. My favorite Bible verse, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Tim Tebow made that Bible verse known to millions of people just by putting it on his eye black and playing the game. But let's talk about what I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That doesn't mean I can fly. That means that as long as I trust in my God throughout my life, I may falter, I might stumble, but I will not fall. No matter what happens to me, I'm going to be okay because I've got my God right here walking beside me. That's what Philippians 4:13 means to me. Now let's get back to the story. So David, he draws back after talking to God. God basically says, you got this, bro. Trust me. Draws it back, drops the giant. Now, what does Goliath symbolize for you kids? For you parents, what does Goliath symbolize? Goliath symbolizes adversity. Adversity is going to be thrown at you throughout your life, kids. There are going to be so many obstacles thrown at you throughout your life, and they're going to seem insurmountable. They're going to seem like, I can't get up over this. I can't get over this obstacle. I can't go through this obstacle. I don't know what I'm going to do. And that's why I'm telling you about my faith in God. Because, like I said, God is a strength and a power like no one can match. Nothing can match his power. Nothing can match his strength. He is all powerful. He is the one. He has the strength. He has you in his hand. He controls your fate. He controls everything. So when he has you, there's nothing you can't overcome. But the first step into believing in God is accepting yourself for being wonderfully and perfectly made. Because if you accept yourself as being perfectly and wonderfully made, then how are you not believing in God? Because how were you created? You were created by God. I can't explain it. You know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not anything like that. I know my faith in God. I know that this man has saved my life on multiple occasions. I know that there's an evil out there, and I know that all of you will face it at some point. Whether you choose to have the strength to overcome it, that's your choice. But the first step is accepting yourself. Now, as I got older and continued on into school every year, I'd still hear the same thing. You're not good enough to play sports at this level. I was cut, guys, from my 6th, my 7th, and my 8th grade teams. I was cut from a junior legion team, and I remember people going over to my dad after the tryout and me and saying, I don't understand why you were cut. You were one of the better players out there. I don't understand it. And you know what? Like I said, when adversity hits you, do two things. You can quit or you can go to work. I went to work. I practiced hours after hours after hours, sometimes doing stuff that my dad and mom didn't really approve of, like throwing balls against the house. I wanted to make myself prove everyone wrong. I wanted to prove myself wrong. Because when people doubt you, yes, there's going to be a little bit of self-doubt. But again, that's where that faith comes in. If you believe that God's got you, if you know he's got you, you're going to be just fine. And parents, your kids are going to face obstacles where you as parents are going to be close to devastated, if not devastated. There's going to be times where you're going to look at your kid and you're going to be like, I really wish they would quit this. I really wish they would, just so they can stop seeing this pain. I've seen it in my own parents. But you know what? As parents, if you support them and you continue to push them, do not let them quit. I can't encourage that enough. Do not let them quit. Because if you support them and you encourage them throughout, there's nothing they can't accomplish. They will excel on levels that will surpass even their own expectations, even their own imagination. Quit's not an option. After I was cut, I knew I had to go to work. So I get into my freshman year and I finally get put on the team. Now, I played ball with my teammates up until I was about 12 years old. I was on a travel team. I was on all-star teams from the time I was 5 years old till I was 12 years old. When I was 5, kids pitch you don't get to play in the league here in DuQuoin until you're 6 years old. My dad let me play on my older brother's team because he knew I wanted to play and I could play. So I'd been playing with these guys all the time, and I didn't feel like they were better than me. Yet they were making these teams and I was getting cut. And it was straight up because because the coaches didn't have faith in me. They didn't believe in me. So when I made this freshman team, I'm thinking, all right, here's my chance. They're going to give me a chance. I'm going to get to throw. I can count on one hand how many games I got to pitch in as a freshman in high school. And you know what? Those games they threw me against were teams in the past had beaten our team by 15 runs or more, had killed our teams, had demolished them. They were bigger schools. They were the Goliaths. I stepped into the role of David. They threw me against these big teams thinking, all right, we'll throw the one-handed guy out there to save our other arms, It's going to be fine. We'll throw him out there. We'll take this loss, and we'll come back. We'll go back to practice, and he'll sit the bench again. So they throw me against these teams. I remember standing on the mound. I remember looking at these guys. And, most of the teams we played, I was a scrawny kid as high school. And we're looking at these guys across from me, and I'm just like, you're not better than me. I've got my God on my side. I know I've worked here. I know I've gotten the confidence here to prove everyone wrong. I'm about to strike this guy out. You know what? All 4 of those teams my freshman year, not only did I beat them, they did not score 1 run on me as a freshman. Not 1. So fast forward to my sophomore year. Again, you think I proved myself as a freshman, I'm going to get to throw a little bit more. Same thing. Threw me against the teams we were supposed to get beat by. I beat them. Come in, I only got a handful of at-bats, probably my sophomore year. But I'll tell you this, I never once struck out in my entire high school career. My entire high school career, I never once struck out. I got more at-bats throughout, but my claim to fame is I never once struck out, because if they were going to get me out, I was touching that ball. I held a batting average throughout my high school career of over 600. Now, I didn't steal bases very often. I wasn't the fastest kid, but 600 in every game. I'm not kidding, every game, you'd hear this from a coach. So, how's this kid hit? Every time. I'd be at plate, and my sophomore year, we're at Heron High School in Heron, Illinois. I had played sports against all these kids. I'd played basketball and baseball against them. I'm in the dugout, and coach goes, all right, Kuhnert, you're going to hit this inning. We're down by, I think, 3 runs or so. It's kind of a close game, but they're pretty well just calling it a wash. I step up to bat, nobody on. The one thing I had never done was ever hit a home run. I had gotten inside the park home runs, but I never hit an out of the park home run. Then I come to Heron my sophomore year. The pitcher, he's talking trash. It's baseball. We talk trash. It happens. The catcher goes out to him. He goes, do not throw this kid a fastball. Well, if you're a pitcher, I would have probably done the same thing this kid did. If you're a pitcher, you're like, I'm going to blow it past this kid. What are you talking about? Don't throw him a fastball? As he's about to pitch, his coach asks my coach, so how does this kid hit? Here's the pitch. Way out over left field fence into the outfield of the second field behind it. That was one of the best moments of my life as an athlete, because I gained believers that day. I gained people who said, this kid's not a joke. This kid can play. One at bat, and I probably batted a handful of times that year, but that one at bat, there's people today from the other town that come up to me and say, I still remember when you hit that first home run, and everyone in the crowd was in tears because it's something that you had been trying to do for years. And when I hit that and overcame that doubt, there was a level of confidence that shot through me. All right, I did this one. Now it's time for my ultimate goal. I want to play college baseball. So my junior year of high school, I'm throwing really hard, like really hard. I'm talking to the pitching coach, and I go, Coach, I'm throwing pretty hard now, and I'm just wondering, I think I'm good enough to play college baseball. What do you think? Now, you'd think your pitching coach, the guy who spends the most time with you, he's going to be like, yeah, man, let's make it happen. Let's work. Let's go to work. Let's make it happen. No. First thing he says is, Sam, you're a good high school pitcher. He said, you're a good high school pitcher. You're not a great high school pitcher. You're a good high school pitcher. But there's not many one-handed pitchers in college baseball. Now, instantly, I'm taken back. I'm like, what? This guy doesn't believe in me? I've spent so much time with him. He's seen me strike these guys out. He's seen me beat these teams. He's seen me do all this. And he's not encouraging me to play? So instantly, what does he become? He becomes one of those doubters. He becomes one of those people I'm going to prove wrong. Instantly, I'm like, all right, you're on my list, bro. Instantly, I'm like, I go to work. I'm working so hard, and I loved basketball. I loved all three sports I played. But my senior year, when I came into my senior year, I was so determined to play college baseball. I was so determined to make my dream happen, to prove everyone wrong. Whenever I came into my senior year, I decided not to play basketball because I wanted to focus on baseball. I knew that was my passion. I knew that's what God wanted me to do. He wanted me to play baseball. Through baseball, not only are we, and this is what you kids need to remember, not only are we giving ourselves confidence and proving people wrong, you're giving others confidence. You're giving that person in the crowd saying, hey, this guy's doing this. I can definitely, I have no excuses. First year here in DuQuoin, our camp motto was, no excuses, I came to win. Because we have no excuses. That's what our coaches don't let your kids have any excuses. So whenever I got to work and I finally got my first college call, it felt like I was like, yes, I finally got this. I'm there. I got it. Go to the college, go on a trip. I sit down with the head coach thinking, this guy's going to offer me. He's gonna tell me to come to his school. It's like, I'm about to make my dream come true. It's going to be awesome. And then he looks at me right across the face, just eye to eye, pulls his chair close, So you're thinking, all right, this guy's got a serious talk. What did I do wrong? He goes, Sam, you're a great fit for us personality-wise, but I don't know how you're going to fit in with the program with having one hand. Now I'm like, what? What'd you bring me here for, man? Like, what? Why'd you bring me here? And then he goes, and I just don't think that it's time for you to play college ball for us. And then all of a sudden, my athlete mind kicks in. I'm like, all right, man, I'll see you in the spring. And as soon as the spring comes, I'm having the best senior year. Our team actually went and got third place in state. I get a phone call mid-season. So, are you ready to come sign yet? I'm like, well, yeah, I was ready to sign back in December when you told me I couldn't play. And I went and I played for that school. Now, this is where my God story gets interesting. So, as I said, I had a strong faith in God. I had a huge faith. I believed him every step of the way. I got baptized at an early age. I was always a relatively good kid. I mean, as anybody knows, as a Christian, just because you accept God into your life, it doesn't mean your life is smooth sailing. It'll never be smooth sailing. There's always going to be rough patches. There's always going to be gravel that you're going to slip on. But if you have faith, you know it's going to be all right. Well, I lost track of that. I lost sight of that. Coming into my freshman year, I started getting selfish. I started getting greedy. I started thinking, I did this. I got this college scholarship. This was all me. I worked my butt off. I did this. I was working out in the gym. I was putting in the time. I was putting in the hours. No one else helped me but me. World Series comes to town. It's Texas Rangers versus St. Louis Cardinals, and had the privilege of my granddaddy taking me to the game. At the same time, I was doing things that the high school Sam and the younger Sam would have looked at me with disgust. Would have been like, how could you be doing this right now? How have you turned into this person when you were on the right path for so long, and then you took one step off, and the next thing you know, you're walking down the gravel road all the way? How did you do this? I'm at the game. I go home. I'm like, all right, I want to go back to the city. I want to be part of this party whenever Game 7 comes in. I want to be part of this party in St. Louis. So I go there with some roommates. We're having a good time. We're partying it up. Come back, wake up the next day. I can't pick myself up. I'm like, what's going on? I'm so dizzy. I don't feel normal. I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I did what any college kid did. I called my mom and I said, Mom, something's not right. I said, I was throwing up. I said, I've got this headache. I'm really dizzy and I feel super weak. And she had my roommate take my temperature and it was like 103. She's like, all right, I'm coming to get you. So she drove an hour and a half, come pick me up, drove an hour and a half back home. So I'm sitting at home. Next day, I feel a little bit better. I'm putting some food in me. I'm feeling all right. The next day, I can't pick myself up off the couch. I'm so weak. I can't lift myself up. Now, this time I was in the best shape of my life. There's no excuse for why I was feeling this way. Best shape of my life. My dad had to carry me up a flight of stairs and then out to the car and put me in the car. And I put all of my weight on that man because I could not physically hold up 10 pounds. I don't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on, and I was scared. I was so dehydrated. They took me to the hospital, and they put me in IVs and stuff, and they started doing scans, and they're like, you have a dangerously enlarged liver and spleen. We need to hospitalize you, and you have 104 fever. Now, I was thinking, all right, we're going to get these fluids in. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be able to go back to school. I'm going to be ready to go. That was the first day of 2 weeks that I spent in the hospital. Now, those first couple of days, I remember these violent chills that shook me so hard that I remember crying and saying the Lord's Prayer every time, saying, God, I'm so sorry. I know I haven't been the best man. I know this. I haven't. Please just take these chills away. Can't do anything. I'm packed in ice packs trying to get these fevers down of over 104, over 105. I'm just sitting there. I'm trying so hard to feel better. I'm losing so much weight. I went from 225 to 180 in 2 weeks. They're testing me for everything. First thing they test me for is mono, and they're just so determined that I have mono. They're so determined. They gave me 6 tests while I was at this hospital. 6 tests came back negative for mono. So instantly I started thinking about all the things I've done wrong. As I'm thinking about this, we leave from Carbondale Hospital to St. Louis Hospital, but we didn't leave empty-handed, no. Mom gets a call from the doctor, and she's like, I'm just gonna let you know, what I'm about to tell you is gonna be really scary, but I need you guys to be ready to fight. They diagnosed me with Castlemans Disease. Now, for those of you who don't know, Castlemans Disease is a form of cancer, rare form of cancer. Only 2 people in the United States are diagnosed with a year. Usually, whenever you're diagnosed, you're dead after 2 weeks. It's a very strong disease. It has a 100% fatality rate. There is no cure. Chemo does not help. It's such a fast, rapid thing that your life just slips away. So when I got there to St. Louis, I instantly started thinking about, I'm a guy who can't wait to be a father. If you guys can't tell by the way I love your kids, I can't wait to be a dad. I can't wait to expand my family into nobility. I can't wait for all of this. As I'm laying there, I'm thinking, I'm never going to get to play catch with my kid. I'm never going to get to take them to school on the first day. I'm never going to get to be an uncle. I'm never going to get to see where nobility goes. I'm never going to just get to see any of this. I said, I'm going to be dead here soon. That's what I was told. I was told I am going to die. Now, as a 19-year-old who has loved baseball and loved his family, loved his life, I wasn't ready, man. I was not ready. So instantly I did what anybody would do when they're in a situation. I went back to my God. But before I did that, I knew that there was things I had to fix. So I started messaging and calling everybody who I ever thought I did wrong and asking them for their forgiveness, asking for them to forgive me for anything. If I bullied them, if I hurt their feelings, if I upset them in any way, please forgive me. I'm sorry. Because I didn't want that guilt. And I asked God, I said, God, I know I haven't been the best Christian. I know I haven't been the best man. I know I haven't been the man that you made me. But if you give me a second chance at life, I promise you, I won't let you down. Next morning, I woke up, my numbers were terrible. They were terrible. My liver was failing, everything was failing. I was the weakest I've ever been. I had to have my older brother carry me just to go to use the bathroom. I remember just feeling a little bit of comfort that night. Just feeling something touch me, and I was like, all right, I feel something here. And then the next morning, I wake up, and I'm pink, and I feel good. I start to feel like I can eat something. I start to eat something. My fever finally starts to break. The doctors come in, they're like, I don't know. There was one doctor, he's like, you got mono. There's no way you don't got mono, There's one doctor, he's like, I don't care what these tests said, you got mono. I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, I hope I got mono. They tested me again, they came back negative. Sitting there, I'm like, man, I'll take anything right now. Anything other than what I've got. I never left that hospital with a diagnosis. My numbers just improved. I just started to improve. And I knew my God had heard my prayer. He had heard my prayer. He had granted me that second chance at life. He had given me that second chance to do what I'm doing today with Nubbability. Has it been, with doing Nubbability and with coming back to God, has my life been perfect? Or has it been rocky roads? Absolutely, it's been rocky roads. There's been stuff that I've done even since I got my second chance that I'm ashamed of. But I've put it all on God, and He's cleansed me. I got baptized for the second time this past fall. For the second time, I decided, I was like, you know what? I want a new life. I got a new life from God. I want a new life through him. I want to be baptized with the Holy Spirit. I want to be baptized by God. I want to feel him running through me again. I want to feel his presence. I want to see him. Now, when I started off, you know what? I was attacked. I told you guys last year how I was attacked. This year, as you guys know, some of you who follow the Facebook group, this is not what I looked like 3 weeks ago. I was not this skinny. I lost 27 pounds in the 3 weeks ago. In a 2-week period, I lost 27 pounds. I've been to countless doctors. I've seen nurses, no diagnosis, nothing. Back 6 years ago, I probably would have said, well, I guess I just got really sick. It was just a bug. But now that I've accepted God in my life again, and that this camp has touched so many people and changed so many lives, not just you, not just your kids, the volunteers, the community, everyone who is involved with this has changed their life in some way. And seeing that and knowing that, I know who got me. I know who attacked me. It was the devil. He was coming at me. He was trying to put me down. But like our camp slogan is this year, I rose up. He's not going to keep me down. He's not going to keep me from doing God's work for your kids. He's not going to keep our coaches down. We don't care what travel arrangements go wrong. We don't care what happens. We've got God. God's by our side. It's going to happen. It's going to be fine. I know no matter what, he's got me. And when it's my time to go, I know exactly where I'm going. But like I said, the first step to creating a relationship with God is to accept yourself as perfectly created by him. To accept yourself as, I am me, this is who I am, I have the ability to do anything, and I will never say I can't, and I will not quit. True champions, this is a quote that I got from a coach. I don't even remember which coach, but it stuck with me for so many years. And when you hear it, you'll know why. The greatest players, and you can transfer this or translate this into the greatest people, have a million excuses of why they can't. It's the great ones, the ones that rise up, who don't use any of them. If you do not use those excuses and you work your butt off and you put your heart into it, your blood, your sweat, your tears, you know you're going to make your dreams come true. And if you put faith in him, you put faith in my God, there's nothing you guys can't accomplish. Parents, stand up. Your kids are going to be faced with adversity that is going to shake you. It's going to scare you. You're going to want them to quit. You're going to want them to give up on what they're doing. But I ask you now, don't do it. Don't give up on them. No matter who discourages them, no matter who tells them they can't, you tell them they can. You continue to tell them they can. If they come home crying, you tell them, they don't know you. The only person who can limit you is you and God. That is the only person. If you guys instill that in them, you instill in them that they are perfectly created, that they can do anything, that there's no excuses in life. They have no excuses. They need to try everything. They need to go out there and compete and play. And life's a competition, guys. You're going to fail. Your kids are going to fail. It's going to happen. I failed. All of our coaches at some point have failed. But that's the greatest thing about life. Life is about failure, because how do we learn how to succeed if it's not to fail? We learn from our failures in order to learn to be successful. Your kids are going to fail. It's going to happen. Sorry about it. They're going to succeed. They're going to rise up. We have seen as coaches the biggest hearts in your kids. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and said, dude, these kids, man, they have the biggest hearts. They have the biggest determination. They already have what it takes. To perfect that is going to take work. It's going to take hard work. But it's going to take you guys by their side every step of the way. You guys can all sit back down. But it's going to take you guys. I was blessed. I had a dad and a mom and a family that absolutely loved me and supported me in all that I do. If you guys do that for your kids, there's nothing they can't accomplish. I can't thank you guys enough for putting your faith in us and my coaching staff. We've overcome adversity. We've shown what it takes to rise up, and now it's your guys' turn. You've taken the first step. Now it's up to you if you stay on the stairway or you step off and step back. But I encourage you to rise up. Thank you guys so much for coming today.